And we're live on a Mercury Day, giving speeches. I gotta say, this is probably one of the earliest videos I've ever made. In the morning, I mean, like this early, usually I can let shit sit in until about 7 a.m. before it comes out. And I just want to point out that my last post last night said I was taking a break. There's no rest for the weary. Anyways, I am the High Priestess Phoenix. I am your spiritual healer, teacher, shaman, seer, oracle, lightworker, starseed, earth angel, mystic, medium, psychic, witch, yogi, guru, messenger of God, the first child of God, the Lilith reincarnated, here on a Wednesday. In order to keep up with me, you would have seen what I posted in my community page bright and early, and my video from last night. You're going to have to catch that video. Last night, we tapped into something that I haven't spoke on in my 2 years of studies. I haven't had to have this conversation with anybody yet. And we started a conversation only to go real deep. And again, you know, the conversation has just started, and then we keep the conversation going, feeding it energy and truth, and, you know, breaking the barriers of the unseen and the untold. All right. Last night, we spoke about invocations. We were in the middle of a card, and the invocation was to go and knock on a spirit's door and ask for their protection and guidance and to put their energy into a jewel. And right after it, I stopped and I explained the dangers of doing such things. I've never had to do that in any of my cards where I'm like, you shouldn't, you know, there's lots of stuff in here in my cards and stuff that I'll be like, don't do this. Don't do it this way. Find your own way, this, that, and the other. I had already read the invocation before it was too late to say, don't do this. And then I had to explain why we don't do these things. And then, first thing this morning, I see, you know, for what I know, the darkest practitioner here that I've come in experience with, which would be Russ's mother, Miss June Vitale. She calls herself June Demon. Anyways, I saw her this morning. Holy Spirit put me on her page that she was over there trying to bite off of Russ and myself and everybody else of the spiritual community. And I'm like, you've got some nerve, chick. And it's funny because she doesn't affect me. The only effect that she does have on anybody, the only one she's trying to curse, is her own child. Okay, now, last night's video, I explained to you over and over how dark practitioners, you know what I mean, dark magic works off of your fears, insecurities, and shadows, right? That's how she works. She works off of her son's fears, insecurities, and shadows. She manipulates him. She used to, I know for a fact, my spirit showed me, she used to actually poison him. Meaning what? She'd put certain herbs and shit into his food so that, you know, she'd put intentions on him so that, you know, when he'd eat this shit, he'd feel some type of way. I explained that last night. I can manipulate, you know, the outside world to make your inside world fucking chaos where you can't focus on nothing but what the fuck I put on you. She's been doing this for years. I discovered in the summer of 2022 that she was doing it to, she was energy harvesting his shows. She was energy harvesting the entire show, taking energy from thousands and thousands of people while he was performing. Again, his music will stick you into your shadows, into your hurt feelings, into your obsessions and your insecurities. And while you're in your shadows, she can manipulate. She can send energy into you, which is nothing but taking your joy, taking your happiness. Why do people do this? Because they have none of their own. It's all temporary, though, I assure you. It's just an illusion for herself and for others. She wants you to see her in the light. So she keeps stealing people's light to put it on her, to make it look like, you know, she's a happy person. That she's a person in general. Because the longer you stare at this human being, the longer you will realize that you're not staring at a human being. There's something else underneath that skin. Example, Britney Spears. Kanye West. There's many of them. How did they get to this? Exactly what I showed you last night. And that's where I said be very careful. What did she start doing this for? How did this happen? God wouldn't give her what she wanted. So she found, that's what they do. They don't like the life that God has given them. They've gone through prayer. They can't find, you know, sanctuary and the life that God has given them. So they go out looking for a way to have a better life. They go to the extremes. Now, as much as I'd like to say that this is just her, Russ still wears it. Did you see his video? Do you see the black bracelet that he wears? That's not jewelry. That's not fame. That's witchcraft. As much as I wear my amulets, every witch carries them. They have specific amulets that they wear that has certain intentions put on it. All the gold and silver and platinum that Russ owns, he'll still wear this fucking dirty ass beaded fucking bracelet that came from Mommy. Mommy tells him it empowers him, but that's not what it is. It disempowers him. Whatever. And then she told them that, I'm not exactly sure what they believe in those rings that they wear on their first finger on their left hand. But him, her, the sister, and Jonica do it. I don't know if Frank does it. I stopped paying attention to iPhone Mini a long time ago. But they do this. Why? They read somewhere in a book that if I do this, it will empower me. That's where it starts, guys. You start looking for power. You start looking for ways to empower yourself. And before you know it, you start following every book that you've ever read. You want more. You want more power. You want more success. You want more happiness, joy. It's all a fucking illusion, I assure you. You're putting your beliefs into something and you're believing it. The rest of us are standing outside knowing you have absolutely no fucking power, but you believe it, so therefore, you live in this fantasy world of you're all powerful, that you're beautiful, that you're fucking successful, that people like you. You tell yourself this shit, and then you project it as if it's real. I teach you the same thing as the reprogramming. I tell you to tell yourself positive shit, to make yourself believe positivity. They believe the negativity they've read. And they believe that doing these negative things have made them positive. So what happened with Miss June? One after another after another. What was she doing? The same thing as Wolfman. Reading a book, lighting a candle, calling on a spirit to come and give her power, clarity, understanding, success, happiness, make me beautiful. She went behind God. They go behind God to ask a godly form for power that God didn't give them. Does God allow this shit to happen? Most definitely. If you're dumb enough to go looking for it, then you can definitely possess it. Or I should say it will possess you. Let's go back to these energies and entities that they're fucking with. They're real. The spirit never dies. I try to show you that all the time as a medium. You know what I mean? As a spirit myself. The spirits are alive. If you go to these spirits and you ask them for something, naturally, if you invoke a spirit, now you're pulling it into your energy. You have its attention. You don't fully know this spirit. You're just going up to it like Jesus and begging. Begging. God is behind this spirit. And God is going to grant this spirit, you know what I mean, dominion over your life. Because you, by your own free will, chose to work with this spirit. He will allow you. He will allow the spirit to come over you. He will allow all of this because you did it in your own free will. He's not going to stop you. It's what you don't understand about your free will. All God does is control the outside world to direct you. But if you're not watching his directions, then you can easily go in your own direction. There's not a direction you go without God. It's just this is going to be a more difficult, you know what I mean, lesson for you to learn. Going back to, you know what I mean, the 40 years around the mountain. He let them go around that mountain over and over and over again, suffering and struggling when their salvation was straight through the fucking mountain. They kept looking for an easy way instead of taking the hard route. And that's what everybody's doing out here. They're looking for the easy way instead of just going the way that God has put them. Going back to her, just one invocation after another before she became nothing. And now she's filled with dark spirits that plague her mind and tell her lies. They tell her that she's beautiful. They tell her whatever she wants. They tell the ego what the ego wants to hear. That's the manipulation of magic. I can get in your thoughts and tell you, you know what I mean? That's what I said. I could fucking pump him up to making him think he is so fucking powerful. But I can get in there and pull him down to the fucking sperm seed he really is of his daddy's nutsack. make him realize he has no power. He's nothing more than that ugly bitch and that weak man. And he will be destined to be that weak bitch and that ugly man. A man that can't provide. And that's it. She tried to make him the man that she couldn't possess. And then she possesses him. She can't make an outside man provide for her, love her, or see her in that light. She can't do that. But she can do it to her son and his girlfriend and their friends and her daughters and, her brother. Anybody close to her she can manipulate. But she can't make the rest of us believe that bullshit. Because we won't sit and have a conversation. We won't entertain her lies. But they will. They'll listen to it. And she's just feeding lies into them. Belief systems. Believe all this bullshit about me. And then you do. You know what I mean? And that's how it is. But ultimately, no. There's no... I don't know what she was before she did all this to her body. And that's not her... I mean, there's somewhere in there. But again, she's not going to get that off of her in this lifetime. And when she comes into the next lifetime, they will be inside of her. With her. They will follow her. They are attached to her spirit now. She has brought this spirit upon her spirit. And even when the body dies, the spirits are still attached because she didn't finish the job. She didn't put these spirits back where they were supposed to be. And therefore, they're going to tear her apart because they find no rest inside that body with her. They can, they feed off of the pleasures that she feeds off of because, yeah, it's great to be, the whole human experience is to have the feelings of being human. So they live through her feelings. But these are negative spirits. These are spirits that their power comes from dark feelings. So they keep her angry. They keep her insecure. They keep her all these things so that they can keep her. As long as she stays in a low vibration, they can have control over her body and her mind. And basically her spirit has no control. And that all starts with what? What happened? Her ego. Her spirit could have made it through life, but her ego was too weak. And she put that weak mind on everybody. She has a degree in psychology, and so she fucked with her kids, her husband, she fucks with everyone. She took classes on how to get in your mind. Right? So she knows how to do that on a 3D level, and she says that she's a fucking intuitive coach. Yeah, she intuitively knows how to get under your fucking skin. Oh man, as part of it. But anyways, she just kept begging. She just kept lighting candles and begging spirits to come into her and make her life better. They didn't. It's all an illusion. But they did come into her. And that's what she is. You can look at her. She's not fucking human. She's no longer of this world. She's filled with shit that's not of this world. Similar to Britney Spears. It's just not so identifiable because nobody sees her in the spotlight. But you can see it, every picture, look into her eyes. You can see it when she was in that picture I just posted, when he was a brand new baby. You can see it. You can see it, bro. She has been like this since, and where did it come from? She grew up in Jersey, bro. There's a lot of witchcraft out there. Jersey Shores. She just kept trying to take fate into her own fucking hands. And you wonder why Russ runs around talking about he's the most powerful fucking being and he can manifest and he has all creation and this and that. Where'd it come from? Her. She built him up into power but made him powerless underneath the guise of what it was. Again, if Russ wasn't unhealed, she wouldn't be rich. She wouldn't have cars. She wouldn't have vacations. She wouldn't have shit. She doesn't have a job. She doesn't have a friend. Her husband, she doesn't have a husband. She does, but not what we determine as a husband. She has absolutely no happiness, and she manipulates any idea of material happiness through her son. And that's how that works. And, it's just... That's a dark practitioner. They see it, you know what I mean? They see who and what is going to be their, opportunity. And, as far as bringing Jonica back into the scene, he had broke up with Jonica. Jonica made her debut on June's birthday. He took her out for her birthday, and next thing you know, Jonica's a part of the scene, and now it's all of this. Why? Because she had to keep Russ low vibrational, materialistic. The longer Russ stays like that, the longer she benefits from that. When Russ grows up, then she has to grow the fuck up. And that's why she keeps him fucking weak. That's why she keeps him underneath her fucking fingers. She doesn't want him to grow up, because then she has to. They all will. In some kind of pathetic sense, they all will have to find their own way outside of him. She's made him her family's bread and butter since the beginning. And that's it. It's just manipulation. Just, you know what I mean? You know what would be good for you? You know what I think is a great idea? Oh, when he got a good example of how twisted she has him is last year. Go and see the video when he gets his award for New York Times bestseller. Oh, I can't wait to call my mom. You're 32 years old, bro. You should be proud of this. You don't need your mom to be proud of this, bro. But that's it. He's always trying to make her proud, and she, you know what I mean? It's a string. She's constantly pulling on his heartstrings. If I could just make my mom proud. She's never proud. She keeps him in that, that chasing for his attention. I told you that. If she knows that his biggest fear is neglect and attention seeking, she denies him attention and makes him fearful that he's going to lose everything all the time to keep him at bay. You're like, wow, huh? I know. I see a lot of shit. I told him this years ago. Fucking years ago. You know what I mean? And, he denied it and whatever. I don't know if he fully denies it. I know that she stopped cooking for him and he stopped spending so much time with her. And his life, he started healing. The further he stays away from her, the more he has a chance of, self-evaluation. But the more he's in there, he's just her daughter. He's nothing more than, I wanted to say her daughter. He's her bitch. Through him, she can manipulate all things. It's really the truth. But that's, if you notice, that's all of them, bro. Jonica can manipulate the shit out of him to get whatever she wants out of him. Everybody can. He's susceptible to the bullshit. Why? Because he's so fucking, he has such a desire to be part of and wants to be, wants attention and affection. He'll do anything to be liked. It's sad as fuck. And that's the healing. It's like, realize how important you are without their fucking attention. And realize why they're giving you attention is only to manipulate you. It's so contractual. It's a loan, bro. You're going to pay for this. Literally, like out the pocket, bro. Anyway, so yesterday, he talks about his whole album cover is about taking this journey. And she goes and has the fucking nerve to post that she herself knows about the journey. You know what I mean? Manipulating him. Manipulating the scene, bro. You have nothing to do with this. But you're going to come out here and say that you do. You're going to ride your son's coattail again. Go and look at her page. There's absolutely no teachings about that. There's nothing about taking this journey of self-healing. She hasn't healed. You and your fucking fat camp yoga fucking team. And that's it. She feels fucking powerful around fat people. She makes herself feel like she puts herself above people, but she is the lowest, she is the smallest person in the room. Literally. The whole point of this is, I taught you last night, you don't go fucking knocking on doors. That's what happened to Wolfman. Look at his pictures. When I first met him, he was sexy, he was vibrant, he was fun, he had, charisma. Now he's aging faster than any man I've ever seen. That's exactly what happened to all of them the second we get into it. They get into their dark and they really put on their skin. And now he's nothing but negativity and egotism. That's it. Whatever he was before he started doing invocations to the dark goddess and started praying and trying to become this, he's not anymore. He's becoming more dark, not more light. Because he's praying to the dark. He's invocating the dark into his life. In the sense of, I'm going to use this darkness to harness it. But you can't unless you heal your own darkness. All this darkness is going to do is bring out yours. And that's why you're getting so fat so fast. It has nothing to do with the fucking intake of calories, bro. It is that your darkness is being let out inside of your body, and it is blowing your body up like Kanye West. You are losing your structure. You are losing your hair. You're losing your smile. You're filling up with the darkness, your wrinkles. All that light of what you were that keeps you young and youthful is disappearing because you keep praying to the darkness and bringing darkness in. Thinking that it's going to make you powerful, but it's not. It's making you weak from the inside out. You even look weak on the outside. You prayed to the demons and all they did was bring your demons to light. And that's what I tried to tell you guys last night. You cannot just do this type of shit, bro. People see me and they think that it's safe. I am the dark goddess. I am the queen of hell. What the fuck are you doing going into hell? And you think it's funny and I'm gonna laugh at you when they attack you and eat you. Destroy your fucking life, idiot. Trying to be me. You can't be me, bro. You can't even be you for fucking 5 minutes. Motherfuckers. That's what it is. Why do people play with the dark? Because they can't find the light in their life. I seen what happens. She's seen it too. She's seen it before I seen it. She's seen what happens when I came into his life and tried to do everything to stop it. Bitch, he loves me more than he loved me in the beginning. I have his full attention. I have his heart. You might have his money, but I never wanted that. He's coming to the light, and you're going to be stuck in the dark by yourself, bitch. They were never. Misery loves company. You tried to take your whole family down with you and keep them miserable with you. What kind of mother are you? You're not a mother. You're a demon, bro. Misery loves company. You wanted all of them to be isolated, unliked, unloved, just like you. That fucking sick family structure that's hiding all of the fucking suffering that we talked about yesterday. She wanted to hold all her kids down. As long as she keeps them down, she has somebody with her. The second these kids find their own identity, she has nobody, bro. Not a husband, not nobody, bro. So she has to hold on to them. She doesn't want them to grow. She doesn't want them to be happy. She doesn't want them to have friends and family and children. Because that takes from her. She's the most selfish person I've ever fucking seen on this planet. No, not most, but she's one of the top 10. It's not a mother. A mother wants the best for their children. It's a fucking demon. I want you to suffer with me. It's disgusting. She knew when I came that I was coming to free him. She saw it all. She played all. She went. She saw it. She saw she would lose everything if he fell for me. And she did everything. No, she's this, and she's a fucking witch, and she's out to get your money, and she's out to destroy your legacy, and she's this, and this, and this. And, you know, filled him with such fears, dude, of me. You were never afraid of me. You're afraid of her. Better just fucking take that bitch down. I'll beat the shit out of that bitch if I was your girlfriend. Knock that old lady out, bro. You ain't fucking punking my man. I'm not a little boy. I'm not your little boy, bitch. I'm a grown-ass woman. Step to me. Step to me, bitch. That's the truth. I told him in the beginning, I'll fuck that bitch up for what she's done in your life. And, you know, you got that one that does it on the, you know, on the spiritual level. But then you got Marshall's mother that did it on a physical level. I'm just going to fuck my son's life up because he fucked up my life. I would have had a good life if I didn't have you. Man, oh man. There's not much of a difference when it comes down to, you know, the manipulation of Lewis Hamilton's father, Anthony Hamilton. Always fucking with his son's psyche. You know what I mean? That's what it is. They fucking get in your head, bro. Your thoughts are not your thoughts. They were fucking put in you by some weak-ass person before you. Trying to make you think some shit. Make you believe what they believe. Trying to make you better than what they are. Fuck them. Anthony Hamilton is nothing. He's nothing. You're so proud of your father. What about your mother? You guys want to put these people up, but you don't realize that you put them up just by living your life. Them fucking with your life is the only fucking pride they have in their life. Anthony Hamilton didn't do shit with his job but fucking force his son to be something. What did your dad do after you got signed to McLaren and you were gone? Did he get a fucking job? Did he take care of your brother and your sister? You know what I mean? Was he really respectful, or his job was only to make you fucking famous and rich so you could take care of them all? Right, Russ? Ride you. Fucking shit. Fucking shit. Going back to what I do, nah, we don't go asking fucking spirits to make, we don't, you know, and that's why I don't pray. I'm not begging some spirit outside of God to tell God to make my life easier. God made my life like this because he wants me to overcome these challenges. I don't need to go begging the devil to come, you know, come fight God for me. Come make my life better. God's fucking with me. Bitch, please. You're a coward. Couldn't take the trials and tribulations of being a mother? Of course you couldn't. It's all in his fucking videos of you crying about how you couldn't pay the bills. Maybe if you got a job, cunt. Maybe if you helped your husband, cunt. Instead, you want to put it all on your husband. Fucking cunt. Anyways, I was going to take a break, but we're going to take a break on that note. And it's like, they're everywhere, bro. They are literally everywhere. And they wear a cross and they go to church. They serve two gods. Truthfully. Because in their sick ways, they think God wanted this for them. Those are those sickos. God told me to. What? No, my God. He don't talk like that, bro. He tells you to make your life better, not others harder. He tells you to fucking destroy your life, not others. He's not sitting there trying to make your life better in that type of way. You have this fucking warped perception that God is a genie in the bottle. That if you rub him the right way, you do your tithing, you speak right, you abide by his 10 commandments, you're going to have the most wonderful life ever. That's not how that works, bitch. What fucking books are you reading? Anybody that served God was a servant. We were humbled. We had nothing. We had everything because we had God, and nothing of this world mattered because we had God. But yes, he took our lives. He took our idea of our successful lives that we had, and he gave us a life of true purpose. That doesn't seem to be successful to the rest of the people, but we walk in success because we walk with God. And that's just really it, is, you know, people are desperate. They want to say it's the devil. They want to say all these things, but they won't accept the life that God has given them. As Lilith, I'm here to help you overcome that. I hated the fact of what God had made me. And I didn't want the life that he had given me. You know, that goes back to every princess movie. Every princess, dude. She's to inherit the kingdom and to be the most powerful. And she doesn't want it. Where do you think all those movies came from? He gave me this world and everything in it. And I told him I didn't want it. And I fled from it. And in fleeing from it, all I did was have dark experiences. I would have had an easy experience in the life, or I would have had a life if I would have just lived the life that he gave me. But instead, I wanted to make a life for myself, which I did. And he did not stop me. And that's the crazy conversation we always have. You didn't destroy me. You didn't persecute me. You didn't kill me. You didn't stop me. No, I didn't. But you didn't leave me either. You didn't abandon me. You just sat there and let me tear up my existence by myself. It's your life. I just wanted you to be happy. Did you find happiness? No. Well, do you want to try my way? Fine, God. Fine. Fine. And that's my, this is his life that he wants for me. And I know what he wants for me. And it's work. It's hard work. And sometimes I don't want to do it, but I know that ultimately all he wants is for me to be happy. And every time I've ever tried it on my own, I didn't find that happiness that only he offers. So I surrendered. You'll listen to me. I'll kick and scream. He does it to me all the time. I'm going this way, and he realizes that's not going to make me happy, and so he wants me to go a different direction. And I'm like, but I'm fucking happy. He's all, no, you're not. Let's look at this. You know, so they start out as just people like us that are just unhappy, that are just desperate. Just desperate, bro. That's all. You know, just like me. How did you end up like this? I was completely unhappy. But what really is crazy, and that's what everyone saw, is it was my Christian understanding that took me into this. I was a Christian before I started this. Religious, very, you know what I mean? Well, I'd already started to break some of the structures of it, but I was always, you know, with Christ, you know what I mean, and the understanding of God. I just started to discover more of what God was. I didn't find a piece of God that I liked more than the other. I just started to understand more of what God was, you know, and that's what that is. But typically they're looking for a side of God that'll please them, you know, and when you're dealing with the dark side, they'll tell you, you know, you go to Lilith for empowerment, for rebellion, for strength. You go to, you know, you go to these different things. And just like last night, it said, we're just asking Matcha for protection. But what's she going to do when we're in danger? You know what I mean? Like keeping a gun. A gun is protection, but what is it going to do when I pull it out? I have some shit, like, I have this, I have a mirror, a moon mirror, right? That's charged by the moon, that's covered. And I know that thing to be I don't do mirror magic to begin with. What's on the other side of the mirror? Something terrifying. And in the sense of, it's like, I'm not going to ever pull that thing out unless I'm guided to. And I'm going to tell you that I know something. I don't know what's going to happen. You know, and that's just kind of it. Is like, you know, you're messing with gods. You're messing with power that you don't understand. And you want it for all of the wrong reasons so that you can use it to make your life better or to use it against someone else. If you got a blessed amulet from a goddess that has protection, right? You go to a god, you go to Matcha, and she says, all right, I'm going to put my power in this. You don't understand that power. And every time you feel afraid, you're going to pull that thing out and use it upon someone. And God's letting, you know what I mean? You're basically pulling out a fucking sword that's not registered to you. You're about to commit a crime. You know what I mean? You got a weapon that you don't even know how it works. And this could take someone's life, and the blood will be on your hands. In essence, dude. You know what I mean? You don't go... I hear that song. You don't go pulling on Superman's cape, right? You don't spit into the wind. You don't mess around with Leroy Brown. It's a cool ass song. Oh no, you don't mess around with Jim. It's a cool ass song, but in the sense of, you're not going to go up and ask Zeus for his thunderbolt. In the same sense, you don't go ask the darkness for their powers, because they weren't meant for you. And what are you using them for? To manipulate what God is already doing in lives. The only reason you're asking for protection is because you feel weak. It's just truthfully to empower your belief system. The stones I carry is because I believe that this stone gives me extra protection. But when you get to my level and you know that you're all protected, you don't have to keep these beliefs of extra shit. And that goes back to, you know what I mean, Thor's hammer. You had to believe the power was in the hammer, because you couldn't believe you owned that power. And so when he lost the hammer, he thought he lost his power. Meaning, if you put this idea that all your protection is in this amulet, when you lose that amulet, you feel like you're unprotected now. That you put all this power in this trinket. Do you know what I mean? In the essence, you know, I teach everyone is, you know, the bubble. You visualize yourself in a protective bubble as you go out. You keep doing this until you actually know. You start pretending until you make it a reality. Before you go out, you visualize yourself in a protective bubble. You do it every time you go out, every time you go out, every time you go out, till one day you don't need to do it. You already know you're in it. You make it a reality, right? Do you know what I mean? And so you're putting power into things that are not of this world and outside of you when you yourself are protected. That goes back to the junky ass fucking tarot readers that are always telling you you're under magical attacks and they're trying to steal your destiny and and all of this shit. They're making you believe that you're vulnerable. They're making you believe all this. Can they see this upon you? No. They're believing what they were told these cards meant, and they're telling you this is you, and this is what's happening to you, and you're accepting this. You're wearing their words. So now you believe that you need all this extra protection. Somebody's going to... You believe you're vulnerable and that God isn't with you and that you need to take action. You have to do something to protect yourself. You forget the whole fucking concept that you're God's child and that this is all happening for you and nothing is happening to you. Right? Now that could be anywhere. That can go as simplistic as like, you know, the TV. They're telling you you're a victim of this shit. They're telling you that your neighborhood is this and that your children are this and that. And you're believing the shit. Going back to the Venezuelans. They're telling you about these people and you're believing this shit. You don't even know if it's true. You've made it your truth as soon as you read it. Now, going back to you, Wolfman. And fucking June and all of them. They read this shit and they make it their truth and now they want to tell you, you know, that this is what it is and you believe this shit. Wolfman keeps running around telling about all these thousands of women that he's, you know, that he's magical. But he has no power. But they believe it. Why? Because he's reciting back to them some shit he read in a book. Going back to June, she's making her 34,000 fucking followers believe that she, you know, whatever. And that's what I told you yesterday about Russ. I said, don't make me find out that you're just doing this. And I was like, the only comforting part about this is these are my words. The only thing I'm liking about this is that I know you're listening. I know you're listening. And that's you, Wolfman. They may be low-key obsessed and you like it. They're totally obsessed and I love it. Absolutely obsessed. I live rent-free in so many people's head. Like, all the time. Like, I live inside of their being. Truthfully. And, you know, going back to it, it's like, okay, you made it sound beautiful. But walk it like you talk it. And that goes back to it. Is like everybody, and I've been pointing it out forever. It's like, you know, these false, fake-ass fucking, all of these fake-ass spiritualists. Number one fucking suspect would be that bitch. How I Met Your Mother. But they do. It's a movement. And everyone's going to try to move in this direction using these words. And I told you, well, they'll normalize the terminology. But you'll actually be able to see who's doing it based on the life changes and the sacrifices. It's all about sacrifice. An ego death and a transformation, death and rebirth, an ascension is all about sacrifices. You are sacrificing your low vibrational self to become more high vibrational. You are leaving alone that's no longer serving you. It is in every single one of my teachings, every single one of my books. That's all I've got to do for the next 55 years is tell you that every day for the rest of my life. If that's my only purpose is to tell people to leave, that's no longer serving them, and we are looking at people that have never left anything alone, then you know it's a lie. And going back to it, you know, she came out here with this. They came out as spiritual, and I blasted the shit out of them. It was all about eating the finest foods. There's always massive alcohol at their tables. Massive alcohol when that woman comes. Massive alcohol, dude. She tries to live vicariously through her 20 and 30-year-old children. Like she's not fucking 50, 60 years old looking like a whole fucking, you know, washed up alcoholic. Anyways, going back to it, you'll see. It's so simplistic, and that's what the book said is the mark of the beast. You can see. You can feel it, bro. Last night I met an amazing dude. I was like, no shit, you have the same birthday as me? I was like, oh, nah, Nika. You about to wake up. I was like, oh, and I had to, you know, I started talking all that spiritual stuff. He's like, dude, that's it. I was like, yep. I was like, I bet you're in your 30s, huh? He said, 31. I was like, yep, it's time to wake up, buddy. In the sense of, you know, you can tell. They know. He's like, I felt your energy. I felt your good vibes. I get it. And that's it. It's like, you don't see it. You feel it. You feel these people are full of shit, bro. You feel that they're out here begging for attention, bro. You feel that they're not talking it. They're just talking shit, bro. Going back to Will Smith, the Dark Night of the Soul. Bro, he ain't been through shit. He got his feelings hurt because, skee ball over there fucking he's bouncing his balls. And he's about to get caught up in a whole fucking homosexual fucking conviction. That's not Dark Night of the Soul. Those are called towers. Yeah, that's how it starts. God's about to bring your whole world crashing down because he's going to make you fucking live a new life. You don't get to. And that's what it is you'll see this. You'll see these midlife crises happening where they're changing, bro. They're changing faster. And that's, going back to it. It's like, look at Joe Bart. At 23, he is so fucking, that's what I shared, is like, these babies are going to be so much more evolved than you ever were. They're going to come in not even wearing the fucking skin, bro. Meaning they don't have to go through the karmic understanding of this skin. I don't have to understand why my mind thinks like that. I control the mind. They'll have mind control over themselves. And just going back to it, it's like, your evolution is based on your acceptance to surrender. Sacrifice, surrender. And those that are holding on to the things of the material world are the identifier that they're not. You know what I mean? They're just not. They are not of the spirit world. They're of the material world. There's two worlds we live in. And, the point is to be of the spirit is, not of this world. To live here, but not be of this world. And that means not be of the things. Not to not take pleasure in the life that we have, but not to obsess and make it the life, make it our life. And that's being receptive. All great things will come to you. But you know what I mean? You chasing those great things is not allowing the greatness to the becoming to happen. We're all destined for greatness. All we have to do is overcome our lessons. Learn the lessons that make us great. But people don't want to go through the hardships of learning a very hard lesson. They don't. They'll do anything. They'll take anyone down. They'll blame anyone. They'll do anything conniving to get out of a state of desperation. You become desperate when you're going through these serious challenges through life. But they're character building. People look at me and they're like, how are you so strong? Listen to my life, bro. I've had nothing but trials and I've had struggles my whole life that I've had to overcome. That's what makes your character, dude, is overcoming, going through difficulties, going through the fire. That's what fucking Wolfman talks about all the time, but he won't tell you. He has no testimony to the fires he's overcome. They won't tell you because they haven't gone through it. How do you know? Because they're still ashamed of it. It's a shadow. We've all gone through some amazing, unbelievable, tragic things in our lives that have made us so strong. And it's when you tell those stories, man, you're so strong. I can't believe you went through that. Yeah, look at me now. And that's where your true power is. It's not like, you know what I mean? That's it. That's your testimony, your life testimony, how you went through some shit in your life and how it made you a stronger person. These people have been through lots of things in their life, but it's made them weak. Going back to Marshall, he's not strong. He's weak. All these things that he raps about have weakened him and made him the man that he is, which is weak, isolated, lonely, unforgiving, unloving. Oh, there's the freaking crows. Hungen and Munyon are here. It's just like, that's what it is. It's supposed to, you hold on to these and you play victim to them and you're like, oh, poor me. But all the rest of us that have gone through it are like, look at me. Look at what I've become after that. I'm not my parents. I'm not these people. I lived there too. I went through that too. I had drugs. I had abuse. I had all that too. But look at what it did for me and look at what it's doing to you. And that's it, guys. You just have to embrace this really difficult journey. And right now, as much as you don't want to admit it, we are in the trials and tribulation days, which is the challenges. We're going through the fucking Hunger Games, bro. I don't know why you think you deserve to have an easy route through the fucking generation that we're going through. Everyone's trying to find an easy way through this fucking labyrinth of pain and suffering. Yeah, I'm sure you're not. You're not special. There's nobody that's going to help you through it, as all of us must go through the fire. There's no way around the fire, but they're sure dancing and trying. Getting, they're, just out here fucking ashy fucking ankles looking burnt and shit. Why don't you come try to be human? Why don't you put on the struggle for a bit? Let's see you. Put on the suit, dude. Put on your flesh and try to fucking thug it out like the rest of us. Try to have a good attitude while you're doing it, bitch. Welcome to boot camp. Spiritual, you know what I mean? Human boot camp. We're here we're the cleanup team. We're crying. You can't go home. We're here. This is our home. We got to clean this shit up. You know what I mean? Oh, my life is so hard. It is, bro. He made, all of our lives are hard, but he made everybody's life hard. And some of them fucking really did it better than you and your crying bullshit, bro. They weren't over there trying to fucking, connive and lie and shit. Life is a highway, bro. It's hard, dude. And it's a bumpy road and it's full of waves and you're going to fuck it all up and get fucked up through the ride. But you don't turn into a scoundrel and a fucking asshole and you just, I don't deserve to suffer like this. He never intended for anyone to suffer, and that's why we're going through this, so we can overcome the suffering, so others won't suffer anymore. But yeah, these are those days. And, we're going to make it through it. We're going to get through the fire. We're going to get through this, through the valley of death while everything's dying. Your whole fucking way of life is dying, bro. This world is coming crashing down. You can see it every day. Our president is doing a wonderful job of that. Let me tell you. He's breaking down all the old structures that made us, that we stood on, that made us what we were. Will we still be those people when those rules aren't in play? What people will we be when they break down? And that's it. It's like when they strip you of everything that you thought you were made of, what will you be? You'll have to become something new. When this is all done, and I heard the funniest thing the other day. They said that he's going to that they're trying to break the rule where he can do a third term. I was like, why not? He's breaking all the other rules. That sounds like that sounds about right. He's breaking them all. And that's just it. It's like you guys thought these rules were unbreakable. You thought these things were immovable. You thought that, they made you believe that you couldn't go against such things. Talk about rebellion right there, bro. He is like the biggest rebel ever. He's breaking all the rules. But that's what it calls for, dude. And I said it. It's like, as he breaks the rules, we're going to have to, you know what I mean? And so that he can rule. This is what I heard. You know what I mean? Going back to it is like these rules were never going to work. You're seeing right now that they didn't have actually any power. And that anybody could have just told you to stop following these rules. You're like, but, somebody did. That's what you're looking at, is you were always afraid that somebody was going to get you if you didn't walk this way or talk this way or act this way. And now you're seeing that, where's the consequence? This wasn't real. I thought we had to do this. I thought this was the way of life. I thought this was permanent. I thought this is how we lived. And then you look up and you're like, people don't live like that no more. And you're like all fucked off in your head. And that's where it is like this whole structure of what you thought the world was is completely falling down. They're taking it down so that you can build a new world in your own imagination. If the structures aren't there, then it's up to us to build a new structure. And that's it. It's like they're realizing that these laws really didn't, you know what I mean? If one man can come in and change the world like this, and that's a perfect example of, it's two men and they're very, dude, we just need a couple other guys on our side, like in the sense of these guys believed since they were little boys that they were going to change the fucking world. They are so fucking with it, and God's letting them. Why? Because ultimately this all needed to fall. He's going to put someone else in it to change the world next. We're all meant to change the world. He's giving us all a chance to change the world. For those that are destroying it, well, that's part of the rebuild. You know what I mean? Yeah, let them have their time. Let them. What do? We're going to be the innovators. They're the destroyers, and we're the innovators. After it's all done, we got to come clean up all this bullshit. But we don't stop with him from his dream and his power that God has given him. You're like, no, he's destroying. Yeah, I know, dude. I know, dude. I know. God uses his own people for destruction, bro. God wasn't going to come down and rewrite the fucking, you know what I mean? The Bill of Rights and amend the fucking laws and shit. He sent this guy to do it. He put this guy, he said, come on. Meaning he's our enemy. Who, God? God's working through that guy. God gave that guy that power, bro. Now you're asking, he gave him the power over our lives? No, he did not. That's where you guys get it all fucked up. You think that this guy rules your life. He doesn't rule shit. He has the ability to fuck with our government. He doesn't have the ability to come into your house and tell you how to feel, act, or what to do. And in essence, you'll probably never come in contact. You'll never come that close to the president of our United States. Realistically, how many fucking, you know what I mean? How many people you got to go through to even meet this guy? In the essence, he's got a call from me. I'm not calling that guy. He'll never pick up the fucking phone. Sounds like every other guy I try to talk to. Now, going back to it, he ain't got no fucking power over you. He's got power over government. Douches, are you part of government? No, you depend on the government. Maybe you should stop doing that right now because they're losing all their power. He's taking all the power away from the government. Haven't you realized that? Was our government a great thing? I don't know. Look at how it persecuted other, you know what I mean? God has a plan. All governments are falling right now. What's going on the Eastern boards? What's going on? And it's all, you know, it's either religious or economical. All governments are falling. You think you want to isolate things into, oh, poor us. What about everybody else? What about everybody else that's going through these difficult times? What brought the Venezuelans? Their government fell. Where are we going as this fucking... And there's plenty of people leaving the country. They're out of here, bro. Our government's falling. Everything's falling apart. We need to go find a happy land to live in. Okay, buddy. Good luck. Mars? You're going to Mars? Okay. I love that story. That's my favorite ending. It is so funny to me. I love that story. Way to go with that story. I just really do. Have you ever been to Mars? Yeah. Yeah, I have. Did you know that there's actual beings out there? You're going to take over their land? I want to see this. I want to see you Americans take over Mars's land like you did the fucking natives. I want to see you try to conquer these natives. It's going to be great. Can you take a camera? Can you make sure that the humans see this? Because this is going to be a great showdown. It's going to be a hoedown. Going back to it, guys. They're out there. Again, she was the first one that I was exposed to. What did I do to her? I bound her. I bound that bitch. I bound that bitch so hard, bro. What does that mean? That all that shit is still... She can't put it on nobody else. It can't feed off nobody else but her. And she can't pull any energy off of anyone else to feed it. It literally is going to eat her up until she dies. I always joke with them. How's her health lately? Really, it's all inside of her. She can't put it outside of her. She can't bring anything outside of her to feed it, to give her peace or rest. It is all inside of her. And it's feeding off of her own childhood. She has a really fucking disgusting ass childhood. Don't we all, though? Don't we all? And that's what it is like I expose it. Dude, half of my stories are... Not half. I'd say a lot of my stories are her stories. She just ain't never told her story. So when someone else does, she has to fucking remember hers, and she hates that. She hates remembering herself. Well, you know, that sucks to be you. I spent a lot of time remembering it, and though I find things there's nothing really to like about what it was that happened to me, I find power in the fact that I'm still a good person, even though all that shit happened to me. You have turned into an awful human being, and you haven't had half the shit that has happened to me happen to you. Meaning you came in here with a weak resolve. You're always weak. From lifetime to lifetime, you've carried resentment and fucking pain and suffering and anguish and anger. And you wonder why you're friends with the Lilith. Bitch, please. What happened? She's been using the Lilith power over people for quite some time. Russ is weak to the Lilith power, and that's why those around him use it against him. Meaning what? What is Lilith's power? I love you, Russell. And that's what it is. You know what I mean? The real Lilith stepped in, and he's drawn to Lilith. He can't. And they're all fake versions. They're all, you know what I mean? They pray to Lilith to have the power of Lilith. I want to be a woman like that. I'm not woman, bro. You are. They pray to Lilith for empowerment, to be these rebellious, powerful goddesses, these sexy, dominant beasts of women. You know what I mean? Like, off the top of my head, I'm seeing Beyonce. You know what I mean? She's, not Kim. Kim doesn't do all that. But in the essence, if there was, and that's why Kim is with me. And that's why, Marilyn Monroe is with me. If there's only a few that can fully harness it and still keep the heart. But yeah, all women want to be a Lilith. Every Eve in the world always wanted to be a Lilith. So naturally, going back to it, the whole beginning of this is she's been praying to the dark goddess, trying to take the power of the dark goddess and use it specifically against her son, but all around her. And that's what they use, is the powers of the dark goddess, for love and abundance and all of this seduction and all this shit. They use it for all of their own personal gains and stuff against men, especially. Men are fucking powerless to Lilith, and that's why they never spoke of her. And that's why they made sure that Eve's had no power. When they realized the truth, and it was always the truth, men are powerless to women. If they own their power, they're powerless. So anyways, he was powerless to the Lilith spirit that was around until he met Lilith. And then they had no fucking power. He realized that they weren't who they said they were, and that I am the real Lilith. In the sense of, I'm a real bitch and they're a bunch of fake ass bitches. He sees it all the time, and that's why his girl's always trying to put it on, and that's why all their girls are always trying to put it on. That's why all women are always trying to put on the Lilith, because it's empowering to not need a man, to be powerful without a man, and to have every man bow to you. I have that energy. And again, I don't use it or utilize it. It's just it just radiates off of me. And that's what it is. It's like you went praying to the dark goddess to give you these powers. That's what Oscar was doing. He wasn't praying to God. He said later he was praying to Lucifer. But he wasn't praying to God. All the power comes from the divine feminines. And you don't go asking them for power, because you can't harness that power. And truthfully, what I teach you is that power lies within you and your dark goddess. You have dark feelings of what has been done to you. And when you overcome those feelings, you empower yourself, and you have all of this ability within yourself. When your divine feminine shines, it shines brighter than the masculine you are. And that's it. It's like, my heart is bigger than my might. But my might is so sexy to all of them. But it's when I'm in my heart that really melts everyone. It's like, gosh, you're so kind. You're so sweet. You're so loving. That Queen of Cups will melt you. Yeah, the Queen of Swords will kill you. And you love but you fear the Queen of Swords. You love the Queen of Cups. And that's where it is like, Marshall you can all fear Marshall. But when you see he has a heart, then you just love him. You're powerless. You ain't shit until I seen you being kind, and now I can't do nothing but be kind. I'd be powerless to Allie. He's so sweet. My meanness I can't do that. It has no power. My loud, mean words have no power when I'm taking them out on a beautiful person. I feel powerless. I feel like a terrible person using, you know what I mean, my dark powers on a loving person. And that's where it is you got to get back to your lovingness. And then people, you know what I mean, they really don't have power. It's like, yeah, you could, go ahead. You want to punch me? Go ahead. I'll sit here and cry. Let's see how powerful you are. When I don't have to fight you and I'm going to let you be mean to me and I don't have to be mean back, that's true power. When you see my vulnerability and you see that I don't need to overpower you, that you're just being a power-hungry punk, that's real power, bro. Jesus had real power by not fighting back, by not even wanting to fight, by just love. I'm just here to love you. I'm not here to fight you. But best believe I'll snap your fucking neck. Because I ain't Jesus, bitch. Going back to it, he didn't have a dark bone in his body. Not never. Us, on the other hand, we're a little bit on the dark side. And going back to it, no, don't go asking them for powers that lie within you. You don't need to put any power outside of you in you. You know what I mean? I tell you certain things because I want you to understand it. Like, so, I always tell everyone, if you want power, get you a citrine. It's a simple stone that costs $3 to $6. It is full of unbelievable power, and you'll see it. You put that thing around your neck, and people with attitudes, or just in general, just put it on your neck and walk through a store and watch how people stop making eye contact and just kind of split the waters and get the fuck out of your way. You want to see power? I'll show you. All the power is in what God made. It's if you understand that these things, you know, being an elementalist, being that of, you know, Mother Earth, is all the power is in the earth. You don't need to go outside looking for it. I mean, in essence, it's here for you. If you're afraid, if you want protection, you want spiritual protection, that's the one I say. And in essence, your spiritual protection is your belief system. You know, when you go out into the dark woods and you're like, oh my God, something's out here. You tell yourself, nah, I'm cool. I got this. Ain't nothing out here. I got you. What's out here? I'm gonna get you. You know what I mean? You tell yourself. Your power is your belief and how you speak over your thoughts. You empower yourself. When you go out to go into the woods, someone else is gonna disempower you and say, oh my God, don't get eaten, don't get kidnapped, something's out there, da 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 da. They put fear on you. You put faith on you. Now I got this. God's with me. I got this. My spirit guides are with me. I'm an animal myself. Hey, I posted that yesterday. So my real, oh, I didn't post it. I'm going to post it. So my real flex is I believe that I can approach a lion and it won't attack me because of my good vibes. Like, that's my real flex. I'm so sure that I've got such a good spirit that this animal is not going to fuck with me. That this person ain't going to fuck. Oh, right. Don't land on my car. Did you hear it? I gotta go. The birds are telling me I gotta go. And I said I was gonna take a break, but I mean, I guess there's no break. Last night I felt like I needed a break. Maybe I don't need a break. All right, but that's where it is, oh God, they're out there, bro. They do it, bro. There's a lot of them. And I go to the witchcraft store, I'll be like, you fucking weirdos. You fucking weirdos. Look, the bird's right outside my car, bro. Like right there. See her? She won't leave me alone. I gotta go. They're all over my car. I gotta go. Heal that shit, bitch. I don't care. It's her life, bro. All I care about is that Russ is aware that he is in danger and he does what he can to, you know what I mean? To stop coming at my car. I gotta go. It's at my door. You're making me look weird. They already know I'm a witch. These fucking animals. All I care about is that Russ is safe. You know what I mean? He's the only one in danger. She ain't a danger to nobody else. Because nobody else believes her shit. But there's those around you, bro. Be careful. And again, they go to church and they wear crosses. They always do. They always do. Because they want God's... They really are... They're weird. They want God... They want God to protect them from what they're doing. But what they're doing is working against God. Getting out of the car. All right, I got